This is Samadarshi. You are watching Country Information. We all know about Netaji's INA. But besides INA, Bose formed another army in Europe. That forgotten army is my topic today.
In the book by Netaji scholar General Gagandeep Bakshi has published conversations with the former British Prime Minister Clement Attlee. In these conversations, Attlee apparently said the role played by Netaji's INA was paramount in India being granted independence. Nowadays, we mainly associate the Indian National Army INA with the Provisional Government of Free India, more simply Azad Hind, which was supported by the Empire of Japan and was established in Japanese-occupied Singapore. Wait, just a minute. There was a mistake which we did not know. There was another army that was fighting in Europe for the Axis powers. Axis power was a coalition of three countries, mainly Germany, Japan and Italy. The Indian Legion, also known as the Tiger Legion or the 950th Panzer Grenadier Regiment, Indian, was initially a part of the Wehrmacht and later the Waffen-SS. It was formed of Indian prisoners of war in Europe and Africa. In 1941, Subhash Chandra Bose initiated the formation of the Legion as a part of his efforts to win independence for India by declaring war against the British Empire. The first troops of the Indian Legion were recruited from the Indian prisoners of war captured at El Mekili, Libya during the battles for Tobruk in 1941. The German forces selected a core group of 27 prisoners of war as potential officers of the Indian Legion and they were flown to Berlin in the May of 1941. The number of prisoners of war transferred from the Italian forces to Germany grew about 10,000, who were eventually housed to Annaberg camp, where Subhash Chandra Bose first met with them. A first group of 300 volunteers from the prisoners of war and Indian expatriates in Germany were sent to Frankenberg camp to train and convince the arriving prisoners of war to join the Legion. As the number of prisoners of war joining the Legion grew larger, the Legion's headquarters was moved to Königsbrück for further training. It was at Königsbrück that the Legion's uniforms were first issued. The uniform issued to the Indian Legion were the standard German army uniform of Feldgrau in winter and khaki in summer. Additionally, the troops wore on their arm a specially designed arm badge in the shape of a shield with three horizontal strips of saffron, white and green, with a leaping tiger on the white middle, and the word Phrase Indian or Free India was inscribed in black on a white background. 6 in the Legion were permitted to wear a turban as dictated by their religion instead of the usual peaked field cap. In 1942, Bose also instituted several medals and orders for service to the Legion, like Sher-e-Hind, which was the highest award of the Legion. Later, it was also awarded to troops of INA in Southeast Asia. The formation of the Indian Legion was announced by the German Propaganda Ministry in January 1942. The maximum size of the Legion was 4,500 soldiers. The Indian Legion was organized as a standard German army regiment of 3 battalions of 4 companies each. Though it was mainly raised as an assault group that would help the Germans to invade the western frontiers of British occupied India, but following the defeat of Germany at Stalingrad in Europe and El Alamein in Africa, it became clear that a German invasion of British occupied India through Persia or the Soviet Union was impossible. So, Bose had travelled to the Far East, where the Indian National Army was able to engage the Allies alongside the Japanese army in Burma. The German Naval High Command made the decision to transfer much of the leadership of the Free India Legion to South Asia. However, most of the troops remained in Europe and were never utilized in their originally planned role. At the time of the surrender of Nazi Germany in 1945, the remaining men of the Indian Legion tried to march to neutral Switzerland over the Alps, but they were captured by the American and the French troops and were eventually shipped back to India. In India, they faced charges of treason by the British, but they were not punished severely because of the huge pressure of the Indian people. The British government were forced to release them from the prison.
That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel.